Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I'm going to say it a few more times. Good morning, everyone. This is your Monday morning word with Evangelist Karen. I am so happy to greet you all this morning. I really just want to come on and give you all an encouraging word this morning so that you can begin to really, truly understand your season, understand where it is that God has for you, what it is that you're in. These times can be very discouraging, but I want you to know that there is more to you than meets the eye. Our scripture reading comes from 1 Samuel 16:7. Good morning, Marcus Beaver. I heard your conference was awesome, awesome, awesome. God bless you, man of God, Prophet Marcus. And so it's 1 Samuel 16:7. It says, "But the Lord said to Samuel, do not consider his appearance or his height, for I do not look at the outer man, but I look at the heart." I just paraphrased that for y'all. So here is the backdrop of this story. Samuel goes to Jesse's house because he's getting ready to ordain the next king. But when he gets there, he makes a crucial mistake. He begins to look at Jesse's sons and he begins to look to see which one of them would fit the bill, which one of them looks like they would be king. How many of you know that sometimes some things can look like they be something, but God rejected? He told him, I rejected him. So don't start looking at what he looked like. Don't start looking at his height. Don't start looking at his stature, because those things mean nothing to me. He says, I don't look at the outward things like man look at. I look at the inside. I look at the heart. Why? I said, Lord, why is it that you are looking at the heart? He says, because the heart tells motive. My God, on today. So you got to understand that if that it's about motive. It's about your heart posture. It is about everything that God said that he wants to do. He came to anoint a king, but he looked at the outward appearance instead of the inside. So I need somebody to type today. I need you to type, it's more to me than meets the eye. Come on, it's more to me than meets the eye. This was a slogan of the movie. Y'all know Transformers. They always, when we got to sell those toys, they would always say it's more to meets the eye. It's more to them than meets the eye, because they were disguised as one thing, but then they would transform into this whole other robot type thing, right? Somebody type, it's more to me than meets the eye. See, he was going to anoint a king, my God, and he told him, don't look at this, don't look at that, because how many of you know in this season, there are some things that look like God, there are some things that sound like God, but they're not fit for the crown. I'm going to say that again. They look like God, they glisten like God, they operate like God, they talk like God, they quote scriptures like the people of God, but they are not truly God. So you got to begin to understand, my God, what it is that God is saying to us on this morning. He said to tell my people, it's more to me than meets the eye. So you got to understand that there is more to you than what people see. My God, there is more to you than other people may feel you are. I came to encourage somebody on this morning. Everything looks like God. It sounds like God, but it's not even God. Sometimes it looks like God. It sounds like God, but it's not God's choice. My God, on today, it's not God's choice. If you think about Saul, Saul wasn't God's choice. He was the people's choice. My God, on today, he was the people's choice. And God said to tell you all in this season, I'm giving you the people's choice. My God, I'm giving you the people's choice. Just like I gave them Saul, I'm giving you your choice. But my sheep know my voice. My sheep know who I am. My sheep know how I operate. My God, you've got to operate in such discernment in this season that you are not fooled by gifts and antics. My God, on today, he said there's more to me than meets the eye. And so if there is more to God than meets the eye, and the living God is on the inside of you, there is more to you than meets the eye. They look at the outside appearance, but they don't understand what's going on in the inside of you. Who am I talking to today? I need some people to understand that it's more to you than meets the eye. He said, my sheep know my voice, and there's more to them than meets the eye. You know, in the movie, they at the beginning, they look like regular cars and they look like regular transportation vehicles. But when the enemy came, my God, they were already amongst the people. They were already amongst the people on the earth. But when the enemy showed up, my God, they had to reveal who they are. I need you to understand that God has you in the midst of people. He has you disguised, my God, as a nobody. He has you disguised as a clerk. He has you disguised, my God, as a normal layman. He has you disguised as an usher, my God. But when the enemy showed up in the earth, those people did what? Those transformers, they had to reveal who they really were. My God, how many of you know that there is a season that is beginning to happen on the earth where God is calling you to reveal who you really are in the earth? My God, it is time for you to reveal who you really are in the earth. This is a season that the enemy shows up and God says, show them who you are. Show them who you are in me. You've been hiding. You've been disguised as regular, but I'm getting ready to show my supernatural power through you, in you. And when they began to show themselves, my God, the people in the earth, they began to be surprised that there was this big old robot that came out of this truck, that came out of this semi, that came out of a tow truck, that came out of an ambulance. My God, on today, it was just regular. But when the enemy showed up, they began to reveal themselves. Sometimes people, they look at you as if you're regular, but when the enemy shows up, you've got to begin to show the power and the authority that lies on the inside of you. Somebody type in the comments, it's time to show up. It's time to reveal who you are in Christ Jesus. You've been disguised long enough. Robo Sutamansaya. In the movie, the boy Sam, he went to go get his first car, and that car on that lot, y'all, it was all beat up, banged up. The paint job was messed up. It was supposed to be a race car, but the man, Bernie Mac, he was the salesman, and he was like, he didn't even know where it came from. But here's the point that I want to get to. He saw the car, and the car paint was messed up. It didn't look like it was much of anything at all. But once he sat in that thing, my God, on today, there was something different on the inside of that car. Y'all, listen to me. He sat in that car. The outside didn't look beautiful, but once he sat in it, my God, there was something, my God, on the inside of that car that told him that that thing was different. There is something on the inside of you that says you're different, and it's time for you to reveal your true identity, to reveal the purpose and the plan in which God has placed you on the earth for. This is that season. He sat in it and he felt something different. See, when you sit in God, my God, when you sit in purpose, my God, there should be something different about you. My God, you think about David. David was the least likely to be king. They looked at him and he was most unlikely. He wasn't the one that they felt like should be crowned king. And I said, God, why is it that they felt like David didn't qualify, but they did? He said it was because of his position. My God, on today, see, some people discount you because of your position. Some people discount you because of your placement right now. But what they don't understand is that there is something, my soul, down on the inside of you that's getting ready to be revealed in the earth. My God, on today, his position, my soul, Messiah, made him unattractive for the crown. So you may not look like what people think you're supposed to look like. You may not sound like people think what you're supposed to sound like. My God, the Messiah, they may feel like you don't qualify for elevation elevation or promotion, but I heard the Lord say, tell the enemy that there is more to me than meets the eye. My God, type in the comments, there is more to me than meets the eye. Who am I talking to in this season? There is more to you than meets the eye. My God, when the enemy showed up in your bloodline, when the enemy showed up in your body, when the enemy showed up at your hospital bed, when the enemy showed up to take your children, when the enemy shows up, you've got to reveal who you are. You've got to reveal the intercessor. We just did a conference, intercessor arise. The Lord said, let the prophets arise. Let the intercessors arise. Let the warriors arise. Let the kingdom arise. When the enemy shows up, you've got to tell the enemy, it's more to me that meets the eye. I know how to decree and declare a thing. I know how to war. I know how to take back that which the enemy has stolen. It's more to you than meets the eye. See, they were regular vehicles. They were regular things until the enemy showed up. My God, who am I talking to? You're regular, but when the enemy shows up, you show that I'm more than a conqueror, that I am the head and not the tail, that I am above and I'm not beneath. When the enemy shows up, the real you is unveiled. My God, on today, the real you is one, it shows up in your natural state, what you are in the realm of the spirit, because you began to take it by force. You began to come against, my God, the plans, the plots, and the schemes of the enemy. They were already there. They were already in place, but they didn't have to show themselves until the enemy, my God, made itself, manifest itself in the earth. My God, on today, Robasaya, this is a season where you have to look and discern beyond the surface of a thing. You got to look at beyond who's trending. You got to look beyond who has the most likes. You got to look beyond who's got the most views. You got to look beyond the suits. You got to look beyond, my God, the financial status, and begin to see and begin to see with your spiritual eyes, my God, that there is more to it than meets the eye in this season. How many of you on here today have been overlooked? You've been underrated because they didn't think that you look like what they thought you should look like. My God, but this is the season where God is revealing who you are. You've already been in place. You've already been on the backside of the mountain, and now he wants the warrior to arise. Now he wants Marcela Bakaya, your purpose and your plan to be made manifest in the earth. My God, oh Messiah, this is what it means when he says that I use the foolish things to confound the wise. That means that something that looks foolish is going to be the thing that upsets the enemy. Go upset some people. And then the Lord took me to the story of Leah and Rachel, and he began to talk to me about Rachel. Rachel, y'all know that was the one that Jacob fell in love with right off the bat. He fell in love with Rachel right off the bat, y'all. And so I said, well, God, why are you taking me here? He said, because there was more to Rachel that meet the eye. My God, I said, y'all, it said she was beautiful. It said she was all these things. It said that he fell in love with her immediately, that she was beautiful. But I said it had to be more to it for a man to work 7 years, be tricked, and then work another 7 years. Why? Because there was more to Rachel that meet the eye. Y'all, she was a shepherdess. She was working. My God, she was helping out her father. She was tending to his sheep. My God, on today, what did that say? Y'all, that there was more to her than just her beauty. My God, she knew how to lead. She knew how to feed. There's more in you that you've had revealed. And the Lord wants you to step up and step out and begin to reveal that there is more to you than meets the eye. Stop holding back. It's time to come forward in this season. It's time to come forward in this season. And then I thought about Leah. It said that she was fair. It didn't say she was ugly like everybody said. It just said that she maybe was hard to look at. But let me tell y'all something. She was hard to look at. Her daddy traded her. He tricked Jacob into sleeping with her and to marrying her, right? Because of how she looked. My God, what today? But can I allude to this, y'all? It wasn't about her looks. It was about her womb. My God, what today? Because even after he was tricked, he still slept with her. My God. So there was more to Leah than meet the eye. Why? Because her womb carried nations. My God. She may not have looked like Rachel, but she had a womb that was able to carry nations. My God, you may not look like the next person. You may not sound like the next person. You may not walk and talk like the next person. Your views may not be like the next person, but there is more to you than meets the eye. My God, she had a womb. She didn't look the like Rachel, but there was something on the inside of her that qualified her to birth out nations. My God, on today, I need you to understand. If you don't understand anything else, there is more to you than meets the eye, and you got to show up. My God, you got to show up in the earth. You got to show up on Facebook. You got to show up on Instagram. You got to show up on YouTube. It's time to show up. You got to show up in the marketplace. You got to show up in the church house. It's time for you to show up, because there is an enemy that is coming to invade the earth, and he's already here. But you got to understand, it's time for you to show up, because there is more to you than meets the eye. Who am I talking to on today? I want you to be encouraged. Be encouraged when you're overlooked. Be encouraged when you're underrated. Be encouraged when the enemy shows up. Why? Because that means that it is your time to reveal who you truly are in Christ Jesus. It is time for you to say, there's more to me that meets the eye. I don't know who I'm talking to. I pray that this blessed you all on today. But no, there is more to you that meets the eye. My God, the transformers, they were already in the earth. But it wasn't until the enemy showed up that they began to reveal who they were. It's time for you to reveal who you are in the earth. My God, everything that looks like God, everything that sounds like God may not be God's choice. My name is Evangelist Karen, and I pray that this blessed you all on today. Like this video, share this video, because somebody needs to understand things may not be like I wanted. Things may not be like I may not be the people's choice, but I'm God's choice. Why? Because there's more to me that meets the eye. God bless you all. Have a